Several hundred Bangladeshi nationals, including men, women and children who are in a rush to return home from West Bengal.
Why are people leaving West Bengal? What is the ground reality of West Bengal's special intensive revision of electoral rules? And is West Bengal seeing a reverse migration crisis situation? In West Bengal, an electoral exercise has triggered something unexpected: the movement of people towards the Bangladesh border. The question here is simple, that what SIR exercise has uncovered that has led to almost a reverse migration crisis. Hello everyone, welcome to Vajram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh and today we are going to talk about this exodus that has been seen in West Bengal. So when we talk about this movement of people towards Bangladesh, we have to understand that what has brought this in. So this has been brought in, the primary reason that we understand is the special intensive revision exercise that has been undertaken by Election Commission of India. Now when we are talking about this exercise as a whole, it's not just that it is being conducted only in West Bengal. It has previously been done recently in Bihar, and as of now many states including union territories will be seeing this exercise before they undergo assembly elections in the coming years. The whole idea of special intensive revision itself is to make sure that there is house to house verification, there is proper cleaning and updation of the electoral rolls, and this can be done through documented proof of citizenship and residence, and that will prepare accurate rolls for the upcoming elections, especially when we are talking about West Bengal in 2026. If you want to understand in detail about this whole exercise, special intensive revision, I have already covered this in a previous video of Flash News. You can go and watch that. Now when we are talking about this exercise, what this exercise has done specifically in this state. Now the question arises why this exercise is being undertaken in West Bengal as well. So West Bengal remains that region which has seen high historical migration from Bangladesh, and that has led to inflated rolls where there are a lot of illegal voter entries also, and also of the non-citizens as well. So that's why border districts have seen irregularities, and these irregularities are to be removed before the assembly elections take place in 2026. So it is not that, as I said, SIR as an exercise is not something unique that is happening in West Bengal. The result of it, yes, is something unexpected and unique, which has created the movement of people towards Bangladesh. Now let us understand that what exactly is happening, that what triggered this exodus that we are talking about. So the immediate trigger, as I have already highlighted, remains the fear of special intensive revision exercise, because people who do not have valid documents, they are worried, they are scared that they will be not just only removed from the rolls, but there will be a crackdown in terms of citizenship, and there will be detentions and legal scrutiny that will follow after this exercise. Above the immediate trigger, you also have to understand the most important factor. The reaction here comes because of the fact that these are the immigrants who are putting up in West Bengal, but their origin or the citizenship is not of India, and that is why they are crossing back into Bangladesh. And that is why we have seen, because of this trigger, the reaction has been the visible crossing back into Bangladesh through the border districts and border present cities, be it Hakimpur, be it Basirat, be it Bagda, Bangao belt, especially North 24 Parganas. All of these regions are seeing this. Apart from that, even in Southwest Bengal, we are finding many cities where there is visible movement of people who used to be driving rickshaws, taxis, autos. They are going out. They are not to be found the next day. So this is something happening for real, and this whole entire movement is not individualistic, it is with families. The images have surfaced where there is movement of multiple people with families with huge luggages across the border that has been seen. And that is why this is a self-initiated reverse migration. That means it is not Indian government taking an action and ensuring the migration of these people back to Bangladesh. They have self-initiated this, and this is basically a nothing but panic-driven movement that they will be forcefully deported. It's better than facing the legal scrutiny or being part of a crackdown. It's to move back to their original country. Now, when we are talking about another important factor here, that what is the situation of migration and deportation in West Bengal, we get to understand that in the very last 3 years, almost around 2,700 Bangladeshi nationals have been caught by the government and they have been returned to their nation. And after the declaration of special intensive revision, there is a fear that this forced deportation or the returning will come into force once they are put out of the voter rolls. This will be seen, and that is why we are seeing that border outports have all of a sudden seen unusually high outbound movement. As of now, because we do not have the fixed numbers, we see few thousand people have left the border from the border villages within few days, and the political claim which has not been verified as of now, there are 1 crore plus names which could be deleted from SIR. As I mentioned, the West Bengal electoral rolls are inflated because of the movement of people from the Bangladesh itself. Now that we have understood that what has been going on, let us understand who are these people and what impact it will create. When we are talking about the people who are leaving the country, they are not all illegal migrants. Basically, they are people who do not have any sort of documents. There are also seasonal workers who do not have legal papers. And then we also have long settled border dispute, but the problem is they do not have any documentary proof. Furthermore, there is another section of people who are just fearing the administrative interrogation, irrespective of the fact either they are from Bangladesh or from India. So basically, all the leaving individuals cannot be labeled as illegal infiltrators. It's just that non-awareness of what actually is being done, what might follow up after that, has created this panic-driven exodus that we are seeing. Now, as per for the impact, we need to start with understanding that what are the main causes that have created this situation. One of the biggest causes of this situation is the border itself. So, when we are talking about the border that is present between West Bengal and Bangladesh, if you see this given map, West Bengal shares a long boundary with Bangladesh, and a large part of boundary is porous because of presence of the rivers, and that is why we get to see a lot of migration, and that too informal. As I mentioned that this long border is present, but if you look before independence era, this region was one. And because of this, there is a social, linguistic and kinship tie that are present. That is why we see the comfort of people migrating, and they are not even afraid because it is informal. So there is a generational, it is not that this is a recent thing that has happened. West Bengal has seen generational undocumented settlement. Furthermore, another important angle here is the electoral politics itself. So when we are talking about that voter rolls have been manipulated, there has been illegal inclusion that has taken place previously, and that is why SIR has been implemented in West Bengal as well. But this voter roll has served many political purposes as well. Apart from that, another huge structural issue in front of us is the documentation gap. If we are saying that this migration, people coming from Bangladesh to India informally, is not new, we have seen this since independence, during the Bangladesh Liberation War and other times as well, then how come this has not been recorded? So this is a huge problem, that there has been poor record keeping across Bengal and especially concentrated in rural Bengal. So there are high number of people where we see unregistered births, there are informal land titles, and all of these people would be under scrutiny. Other than that, there is a huge role of misinformation and panic. The rumors about detention, there has been no government confirmation. Furthermore, about camps and interrogation, this has led to a mass fear, panic in this whole region, which is a huge cause of the movement that we are seeing towards the Bangladesh borders. Now, when we are talking about this whole situation, it becomes important to understand the consequences that lie in front of us, because they are multidimensional. They will have a direct impact on our border security, because this sudden reverse flow is going to strain not just the BSF but the resources as well. There is also possibility of disguised trafficking, smugglers who will flee using this as a chance, and furthermore, it would be difficult to distinguish citizens as well as migrants in this given panic-driven situation. Other than that, we will also see consequences on electoral integrity. Cleansing rolls is important, but it can also change the constituency demographics, and we do not want the constituency demographics to be changed in the unrightful manner. We do not want that, because that is going to compromise the fundamentals of a democracy. So in this situation, if there is any delisting of genuine citizens, that means delisting of genuine citizens takes place. That means the oversight was weak, and it could later lead to legal battles or mass deletions or controversies, just like we saw in the case of Bihar Special Intensive Revision exercise. Apart from that, this has created a huge pressure on local officials, panchayats, and this exodus will also be responsible for verification delays. So that will add up to the administrative burden as well. And then we have the social and economic impact. In this situation, we are going to see, because the main part of immigrants who were sitting inside, because the main function of immigrants they were not at fancy jobs. They used to do the basic chores which used to facilitate the economy of the state. So it might lead to labor shortage in kilns, construction, agriculture, and the fear among the minorities that has been instilled, that can also lead to communal polarization and communal tensions in this very state. Apart from that, we will also see multiple consequences when we are talking about in terms of geopolitics. This reverse migration is going to have an effect on India-Bangladesh relations as well. Recently, India-Bangladesh are not on the greatest note if we talk about it. The death sentence that has been given to the former PM Sheikh Hasina being present in India, and Bangladesh has requested the extradition. All of this, with increased involvement of Bangladesh with Pakistan, Turkey, has soured the relation recently. But again, the new ray of hope is through that the recent invitation has been given to PM Modi by Dhaka. But in this situation, this will raise a huge concern for Bangladesh if the mass returnees arrive in that particular country. This is a sensitive issue, and it is going to be taken up during bilateral negotiations. This will directly influence the border fencing cooperation, the joint river management, and counter-terrorism coordination as well. This is also going to have a soft diplomacy effect at the global level, because the humanitarian rights, the humanitarian optics, these will operate here, and this is where India needs to avoid any sort of international criticism, especially on refugees or citizenship issues. So when we talk about the consequences, it might seem that this is citizens returning to their own country, but it is not as simple as that. It has to be seen with a very broad context with multiple consequences at hand. Apart from this, it becomes important for us to understand this matter, to know that what India can do. As of now, India needs to strengthen the documentary access. We need to bring in special camps which are issuing birth certificates, land attestation, old records which needs to be digitalized. Other than that, mobile documentation units can be used in border zones. Apart from that, as I said, the main issue is the non-awareness. We need to bring awareness to people. How that can be done? That can be done through transparent, standardized SIR protocols, so that there are clear guidelines, there is multilingual information so that everybody understands, there is appeal mechanism for any wrongful deletions, and there are also third-party audits for neutrality as well as transparency. There is another step that India can take in this direction, which is most important given the issues that we have seen in terms of border dispute, in terms of informal migration, that is the border management reform. Because in this scenario, we need better fencing, smart surveillance, joint patrols with Bangladesh, and curb trafficking networks which use not just the panic but the porous borders as well. Then on the humanitarian front, the safeguards such as coercive removals, they need to be made sure that they are not present, protecting the rights of stateless and undocumented children, and most importantly, coordination with Bangladesh to make sure that our ties are intact, they are not affected in any reverse manner, and also to make sure that they are not affected by any sudden burden. And most importantly, to depoliticize migration, because as of now, this has become a political issue. So there needs to be a proper independent citizenship document authority where there are uniform standards for citizenship across the states and a proper framework for migrants, a proper national migrants policy, so that we address this issue for once and for all, and not in different manners for different communities, because that puts us again in a problematic position in regards with multiple consequences that come around it. For example, you can see Rohingyas. Because we do not have a proper national migrants policy, we are not able to take any action and we are not able to accept them. So this is the problem that we have been facing for long, and this framework could actually solve a lot for us here. Now in the end, I'll be leaving you with a practice question here. You can put the answers in the comment section. The answer for yesterday's question, which was about Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the correct answer here is C. That was all for today. Thank you so much.